I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can we have a moment of silence, please? Okay, let's go with roll call. Corinne?
Counselor Chamberlain?
Present.
Counselor Heising?
Here.
Counselor Schneider?
Here.
Counselor Staley?
Here.
Council President Steers?
Here.
We have 5 members present. We have a quorum.
That's a base there. All right. Council has had time to review the prior meeting's minutes. Can we get a motion to move forward with those?
I'd make a motion to accept the minutes as printed.
I will second.
Motion to approve the prior meeting minutes moved by Counselor Stickley and seconded by Counselor Heising. Any discussion? Counselor Stickley?
Yes.
Counselor Heising?
Yes.
Counselor Chamberlain?
Yes.
Counselor Schneider?
Yes.
Council President Steers?
Yes.
5 yeas, 0 nays, motion carries.
Thank you. We have no one wishing to address council. I don't know if we have any department head reports. We have a couple of people here, so. We'll
We have
start.
some loyal department heads in the
Yeah.
house.
Well, they heard cookies were here.
Oh, there are cookies,
Just
oh.
saying.
The only
Okay.
thing that could've got me quicker, Shane, if it was B donuts.
3 out of 5 ain't bad.
That's okay.
Chief Kessler, what do you have for us today?
Just lots of education. They finished up this month with their National Registry recertification. A good portion of our guys and gals are nationally registered, which means they get their education a little more sooner than the regular state certified employees, and just keeps them that much more in the loop. And they spent quite a whole day with Brett Parquette from Lucas County going over 12 leads and cardiac. And then today they were with Dr. Krebs, who oversees the life flight and emergency medicine at St. B's, and they worked on difficult airway adjuncts and stuff. So it was a good month so far, and we've got a whole lineup for next month as well. So
Any new techniques with that procedure that they?
any of the airway stuff,
Mhm.
it's always changing.
Is it?
So yeah, and the education is getting more and more advanced. So yep.
Questions?
We have an ambulance bay out by the engineer's office, right?
Yeah, yep, it's in the
Is it-
hangar with the life flight helicopter.
Is it intentional that we're not identifying it, or is it, because I drive by there and you wouldn't know anything's there.
Right.
Right.
And I thought about that at the beginning,
Yeah.
and that all came to light at Christmas time when we had the 2
Right.
unwanted visitors.
Okay.
If we had the ability to control our own security, I would have no problems doing something like
Okay,
that.
all right.
But everything that we do out there has to go through the county and the elected process,
Okay.
and
All right.
it's just easier to leave it.
Okay, all right, thanks, Chief.
You're welcome out there anytime.
Right. I would have no idea what building to start with. There's a
Just
swing.
announce
There's a
yourself
swing.
first.
I think the swing might identify there might be activity there.
Life Flight does have an emblem above the door, so if you
Just
make it
lay out
there-
there on the concrete, they'll come and get you, I think.
The response time should be good?
Yeah.
Okay.
We need to go down Dunbar Drive together, though.
Okay.
Don't go through the airport.
Okay.
Please.
All right. Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
Down the runway, Earl, do you want me to go down the runway?
You can do that.
Okay.
I don't care.
All right.
I do.
You got video?
I do. It goes to the sheriff's office.
Okay, is that it?
Yeah.
And other than the legislation for the bargaining unit contract, that whole process went very smooth. So I really appreciate it for starting in September, having the goal of minimizing the impact on the organization as a whole, doing that. That all came together well.
Yeah.
So I thank everybody that was involved. So.
Okay. Keith?
We are just working on cleaning up stuff. If any of you have noticed, the guys working out at Homecoming Park, they are completely redoing those bathrooms from the ground up, interior-wise. You know, there was several comments about how they looked, and we agreed, and we've redoing the plumbing, the interior. Hopefully it will be a much nicer and brighter place, and I'm hoping that it stays vandalism-free. We should be finishing up on that this week. I think Ben should be pouring the floors on Wednesday. So,
It always seems to be a magnet out there. doesn't it?
yes, it does, yes. Working on the next couple of weeks, starting to clean up the parks, getting back in there. We had the trees assessed this last week, I believe, and our trees came out pretty good. We had none that needed to be removed right away. John Alexander's been doing a great job with our tree keep up, along with Larry Fry and Rick Fry before him. We have a couple of trees that will have to be removed. We are having a company come in to bore some of our larger trees just to make sure. We're hoping that we don't have to do anything with them, but we want to make sure that they're not hollow, and we obviously don't want a 3-foot around tree falling down in the middle of the park. So we want to make sure they're good and solid and kept up. And then we are replacing anything that we take out with at least 2 trees in the parks. Working with ODOT on our upcoming projects. But other than that, unless you have any questions.
Any plans with the Hajnaki property this year, doing anything, getting
We are looking at the possibility of doing a not paved overflow parking, but cleaning some of that out and making a overflow parking for the pool, which at some point in time could be paved. I just don't know if we have the funds available to do the actual paving, but our guys will do the work on getting it cleared out, getting it drainage put in, and hooked up to the other parking, so it's at least available.
Would that be an enter and exit out of a chute, but a
No.
walking path? Okay, so you would enter from the parking lot?
You would enter
Good.
only from the parking lot. That we didn't want anything going out to Shoup Avenue just for safety reasons.
But that's something that you hope to tackle this season?
Yes.
Okay, great. Oh, good.
What about the concrete for the pads for the sculptures on the trail? Is that on the agenda?
As soon as it dries up
Okay.
enough, that's on our to-do list.
Brush pickup starting
April 1st.
April 1st.
Not this next week, but in 2 weeks they'll be starting on that. Right now, they're using the brush they're taking down trees, doing stumps, and our brush removal for our city trees right now.
I'm just asking for a friend.
Yep.
Well,
Well, Scott,
tell
if you
your
put it
wife
out, if you
it'll be-
put it out at the first week of April, you should be good.
Okay.
Anything else for Keith? All right. Tom?
I really don't have anything to report other than just referencing the legislation before council for approval of the union contract. I want to thank Phil for his hard work on
Yeah.
that in the union. It was nice, easy process from our standpoint. Just cleaning it up a bit and we'll get it in final form if council approves it tonight and get it sent off to serve.
It's all right, Tom.
He's a little grouchy.
I know. That'll be next year for you. It's okay. It's okay.
They lost the boxing match, that's all I can
Oh, is
say.
that what it
Yeah,
was?
that's a little rough, wasn't it? You can root for Ohio State girls right now. They're playing North Carolina right now.
Are they?
Yeah.
And UT plays
Yeah,
tonight,
nice.
too.
still playing, yeah.
Mhm. It's all right.
That's all right.
Like I said, Ohio State didn't even make it, so.
I still have Gonzaga to root against.
Too. Yes, you do. All righty, moving on. Any questions for Tom at all? All right. He's had enough. Committee reports. We have Tree Commission first.
Tree Commission, I was not there, but they just basically went over what they're gonna do for the Tree USA. Everybody has different assignments. And then Stephanie Miller, which, Keith's already talked about, assess the trees from rear park. I think it went pretty well. I mean, basically that was it, just trying to get ready for Tree USA.
The big shindig,
A lot more work than you think it would be.
right. So really nothing to move on this one.
No.
So, okay, well, move on to park board then, you too.
And that would be me too.
Mhm. Next, tree commission. That's- There you go.
Here it is.
Bless you.
Excuse me.
Park board met March 14th.
This was mine.
And they had a recommendation to accept Rotary's donation for new playground equipment at North Park. And I don't know if this is actually the ones they're gonna do, the one in the back, one in the front. The other ones
Pictures
are-
on there.
yeah. I think you're gonna put it on the website, right?
Mhm.
And I think Keith said it'd be like 5 to 6 weeks to order, after they've ordered it. But it's probably gonna be, the thing's gonna be ready to go,
Yep.
hopefully.
We went up, we measured
I
the
think it's just
playground
a color
area.
scheme change.
We have plenty of space there to keep the small kiddie swings up there. We're just gonna add 16 more feet to the area that the Rotary is paying for to put the same mulch and ties around that swing so it all ties
Yeah.
in together.
Instead of just regular railroad ties, it's gonna be like plastic ones.
They're
right?
plastic ties and the rubber 5-bar mulch.
And then Rotary, in the near future, want to put a playground over by, in Homecoming Park, just east of the pavilion. And that, I think they can do it without any interference with the flowers or the cross country
Yes.
running. So that's gonna be another recommendation we need.
Are they, do you know if they're doing the primary color scheme or the?
I do not know what color.
I think he said primary, when
Primary.
he was at the meeting, he said primary.
I think that's one thing I didn't know.
Hmm?
Yeah, blue and yellow, that's the only
What's-
colors that came. in.
Really? What's going on
I
here?
know.
There's some red.
That was a little hard for me to solve, but hey, it's
Hey, it's
playground
happening,
equipment for
it's
the
happening
children.
under your watch, Mayor, that's
I
fine.
know.
It'll
It's
go
for
very
the
well with our-
children, I'm all for it.
It'll go very well with our green roof on our high school.
Yeah.
Never figured that one out. And then they also want to do some tweaking on the park shelter houses. The nonprofit people were kind of complaining. So they were going to recommend removing number 7, which has to do with the nonprofit, and develop a second contract for the nonprofit organizations in the school to include a cleaning fee. I think Tom has to write that up before it can be okay. But that's all there was, but there was 3 recommendations. One to accept Rotary's donation for the new playgrounds at North Park. And let them put the ones in at Homecoming Park. And then doing some tweaking on the contracts for the shelter houses.
Scott, do you remember if there was some discussion about rehabbing a little bit of what's currently at Homecoming Park? Were they gonna touch the playground equipment that's currently there?
The one in front?
Yeah.
I don't know, is that what?
They talked about the wall.
Something
Yeah,
about the
we're-
drainage.
We're looking at seeing if we can remove the wall from that and possibly elevating some of the 5-bar up. Just, we can't bring it up as much as what we need to, but I think if we add a little bit more, it'll make it a little bit more user-friendly, quicker than what it is now. And if we get rid of the fishbowl effect with the concrete, I'm hoping that will help with draining.
Okay. And that's a public works project?
Yes.
Okay, all right, thank you.
They said there's no drainage over there, right?
No,
So you'd have to go clear to the ditch.
we'd have to go clear the ditch or figure out some way to just mound it up and then have it drain off
Drain
into
into
the
the
grass.
grass.
And then they were kind of hoping, since if there's no wall there, that maybe the restrooms would be a little more, not get vandalized as much.
Yeah, the wall was put in years ago as a wind block, because it's so windy
Yeah,
out
it's
there.
kinda-
It was a good idea, but it also made a fishing pond
Yeah.
on the inside, so.
But the
Also
equipment
nice for
itself
little
is
kids to
fairly
not
good,
be able
isn't
to
it?
run away,
Yeah.
but-
So the project of the road race, since nobody mentioned the money, is about $72,000.
Right.
That's what the project's gonna be, just so that way the public knows what the Rotary's doing for the city.
And that'll be the investment for North Park only?
Yeah.
Yeah,
As it goes, they wanna do all the parks.
yeah, but right now their investment is 72,000 for North
only.
Park? Wow.
Yeah.
But they're
Awesome.
discussing the second phase at homecoming. So,
If we
yeah,
get-
72,000.
If you get the
Amazing.
funds available, then we'll go.
And
for all of them.
appreciation.
So when people are considering buying raffle tickets for the Rotary or attending
Yes.
the dueling pianos, this is the type of stuff it's going
That's where
towards.
it's
Yeah,
going.
Yeah.
that's exactly what it's going for.
And in the future, that's the only projects that we're gonna work on, or the Rotary's gonna work on, because Tom's Rotarian, so is the mayor, to bring all the parks up to better snuff for the residents of Wauseon.
I'm anxious to see that on the North Park. It's definitely something that needs updated, but there's a lot of kids in that area, and I think it'll really be nice. They've been better in a different color, but beggars can't be choosers.
And while they're talking about North Park, Mayor, I didn't know, but I guess there's a monument up there.
Yeah.
That was started
the soldier.
before the Civil War.
Mhm.
So I think we ought to look into that and bond Hall to see how much to refurbish that.
They refurbished that back when we were on council. I'm gonna say probably in the 2005, 2010 era. They did go in and clean that. I can't remember who did it, but it definitely has to be approved because it's a historical
Yeah.
monument.
Ed Nosser went over, but he couldn't hardly take a picture and read what's on there. I've never seen it.
It's
I really
unfortunately
gotta go look at it.
around the trees and the sap and everything gets on it, and you do have to keep it clean.
As a past Rotarian, I think, is there gonna be an auction this year at all, or?
There is not.
I think it would be a good idea to bring back the auction, I think, as a past Rotarian.
Shane's volunteering to do the floor.
We needed just one more Rotarian and we would have.
Oh, thank
Yes,
you. I'll keep my eyes
Needed
open.
one more on the floor.
But the dueling pianos thing is, event is, I think, 2 weeks, 2 weeks from this past Saturday.
Saturday the 1st.
Saturday the 1st, yeah.
And there's gonna be tickets available for the drawings, which will help. The same tickets that was for the real
Yeah.
auction.
The
Will
old
be sold
familiar
for that.
yellow ones that
That's right. The
has
golden
Shane's
tickets.
name on it right here.
The golden tickets.
Yeah. So,
I remember selling those once, going around, and I hit up Don Matthews, and I gave Don Matthews the quoted price. He goes, "Oh, I can get better somewhere else." I'm like, I didn't know there was ability to move that price.
We
I
didn't
told
get
Don not
that
to
memo.
tell
We
anybody
didn't get that memo. That's funny. It is a great cause, and it's exciting to see that this is happening in our parks. And again, we have some amazing parks, so the upgrade down on North Park is going to be a good thing. Okay.
So you need a motion?
Yeah, 3 of them.
I'd be pleased to make the motion to recommend the Park Board's recommendation from North Park for the Rotary money.
I'll second
Can we
that.
do all 3 of them?
Yeah, just accept the whole thing, because you have the shelter house rental contracts, which, I mean, more or less, nothing's changed. It's just gonna be on a separate for nonprofit. They're taking number 7 out and putting it and making a whole new sheet. It's gonna be better for downstairs, and for those who are nonprofit, this is your form.
Yep.
So,
You want to put them all together?
yeah, I think so.
I'll move that motion.
I'll second.
Motion to accept Park Board's recommendation moved by Counselor Stickley and seconded by Counselor Schneider. Any discussion? Counselor Stickley?
Yes.
Counselor Schneider?
Yes.
Council President Steeritz?
Yes.
Counselor Heising?
Yes.
Counselor Chamberlain?
Yes.
5 yeas, 0 nays, motion carries.
Thank you.
That's all 3.
Yes.
Thank
And going
you.
back to our park, so I would, any city between $8 and $10,000 cannot touch our parks, I don't think, not at all. We're very fortunate.
And then how many do we really have like, when you sit down and you start counting how many parks we
Oh,
have
yeah.
in this city of 7,800
Playground.
people, and walking trails and bike trails, and it's just, it's
And when
amazing.
my kid played softball, and you probably could too, some of these parks are pretty nasty looking.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
They don't get taken care of.
That's good. North Park has been neglected for so long, so
Yeah.
I'm glad that it's gonna get some
Yeah.
attention.
I see a lot of kids playing in there when I go by, so it's gonna be nice.
Okay, let's move on to our legislation. First reading, we have a resolution 2023-5, and it's a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter an agreement with the Wauseon Professional Firefighters, LAFF Local 5223, and we need to declare this an emergency.
I will move.
Second.
Motion to place resolution 2023-5 on emergency reading moved by Counselor Heising and seconded by Counselor Stickley. Any discussion? Counselor Heising?
Yes.
Counselor Stickley?
Yes.
Counselor Chamberlain?
Yes.
Counselor Schneider?
Yes.
Council President Steers?
Yes.
5 yeas, 0 nays, motion carries.
Final.
Second?
Motion to place resolution 2023-5 on final reading and the final reading be passed moved by Counselor Stickley and seconded by Counselor Chamberlain. Any discussion? Counselor Stickley?
Yes.
Counselor Chamberlain?
Yes.
Counselor Heising?
Yes.
Counselor Schneider?
Yes.
Council President Steers?
Yes.
5 yeas, 0 nays, motion carries.
Thank you. We have nothing under second and or third reading. Anything for new business?
I
Yes.
have one thing. I wanted Jamie to be here. She's not here, but Corinne is. I have hearing aids, so now I can hear
All
them.
right, you can't even see
I'm
them.
not gonna say, what?
Would have never known. They
I
fit
know,
well.
but I
Can't
do.
even see them.
But
Are you
Jamie's not
adjusting?
here, so I really can't test them very good. I can hear Corinne perfectly.
Well, Freddie has to be hard. He sounds like, Kermit the Frog
I
over
know,
here.
I know.
Yeah, I know he does, and
I'm
I
sorry,
can
called you
sound bad
Freddie
too.
on
That's
camera.
all
I'm
right.
sorry.
3 days of basketball, I can't do that anymore.
I figured you brought something back to Canada.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Harold.
Thanks.
That's a good thing.
It is.
Now talk to my husband, please.
My wife appreciates it.
Yeah, I
I
bet.
can hear 10 words out of 10 rather than 5 out of 10, she said.
All right. Anything under old business? If not, let's get a motion to approve the bills.
I'll make that motion.
Let's pay the bills. I'll second it.
Motion to approve and pay the bills as presented moved by Counselor Schneider and seconded by Counselor Chamberlain. Any discussion? Counselor Schneider?
Yes.
Counselor Chamberlain?
Yes.
Counselor Heising?
Yes.
Counselor Stickley?
Yes.
Council President Steers?
Yes.
5 yeas, 0 nays, motion carries.
And all we need is a motion for adjournment, please.
So moved.
Second.
Motion to adjourn moved by Counselor Stickley and seconded by Counselor Heising. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, council.